Chapter 17. Back along the trail. Raids by the Comanches continued along the Texas frontier for another 15 years, but they lessened in frequency and in violence. While serving with the Texas Rangers for several years, Thad Conway did his part in ending the Indian raids. If any braves of Yellowclad's band were among those who attacked the Conway's Double Barrel Ranch on several occasions, Thad never knew of it. Scar Pony kept the promise he had made that Little Bit would not be stolen again. When Thad was 20 years old, Little Bit came once again into his possession. It was then that he and Melissa were married. The rest of their lives, Melissa jokingly insisted that the only reason Thad married her was to get back his pony. When Thad had built up his own herd, he chose an open pair of scissors like the Scar on Little Bit as his brand. Cattlemen far and near came to know the Scissors Ranch and to respect the quality of the cattle that bore Thad's brand, but few ever knew the origin of the mark. Finally, the day came when Thad retired from ranching and gave his herd and land to his eldest son, young Giles. One day when Giles was opening his mail, he exclaimed, "Dad, did you know a Comanche boy named Scar Pony?" "Yes, son, I did," Thad answered. "He was my best friend among the Comanches." "Here's a letter from Oklahoma," Giles told him, "asking for some of our best breeding stock. It is signed Leonard Scar Pony. Might be kin to your old pal?" "Why, of course, son, it has to be. No doubt, Scar Pony's son. I'd love to see old Scar Pony. I heard they took over as the chief of the band after Yellowclaw died. Could have had that job myself, I reckon, if I'd stayed with them," he chuckled with amusement at the thought. "Well, Dad, I'll be taking a shipment of cows to Leonard Scar Pony in a couple of weeks. How about coming along?" So it came about that Thad and Scar Pony met once more. They no longer considered themselves enemies, and Thad was amazed at the changes in the Comanche manner of life. No longer raiders and killers, they were living peacefully on farms and ranches, sending sons and daughters to school and building houses. Leonard Scar Pony, he was told, was a leader in his tribe and was helping build up the quality of the Indians' cattle. He was a graduate of an agricultural college, and he had heard of the cattle with the famous Scissors brand. Scar Pony had accepted the white man's style of dress in only a few particulars. He wore a hat with a crown high and uncrushed, with feathers in the band. His hair was cut short like the white men's. Indian buckskin shirt above white man's trousers, plus beaded moccasins completed his dress. He still preferred to live in the portable buffalo hide lodge of his ancestors beside a creek, though his children had built houses for their families. "I'm a deacon in the church," Scar Pony told him. "We no longer fear the spirits. Many of us worship as you do. We honor the Father God and His Son, who loves both Indians and white men. Now we teach the young of our tribe to love, not to hate." "I'm glad to hear that," Thad told him. "How did it come about?" "Missionaries from many churches came and teach Comanches about God in this book. Then I remember what you told me many years ago. You tell us to love our enemies, not to hate them. These things I believe, it is good truth, has made my family very happy." And so the old times were recalled, and the events of those long ago days lived over in the memories of those two old men, one dark, one fair. As Thad Conway sat on his front porch, he began to reminisce as Melissa came out to sit beside him. "Just think of it now," he said. "Scar Pony thinks I taught him to love his enemies, and all the time I was trying my best to hate the Comanches. Guess I didn't do such a good job at hating them after all." "Well, dear," Melissa answered, "hatred does more harm to the vessel that holds it than it does to the one it is to pour out upon." Thad spoke again. "Scar Pony, my enemy, became the best friend of my boyhood, mostly because of Little Bit. Only he called her Blackbird. Both of us loved her." "All of us love Little Bit," Melissa said. They sat for a long time in silence as the shadows of a little black Spanish mare, now long gone, seemed to rise before their eyes. The end.